Good morning, X. Based on your reaction, it seems that the synchronization is complete. I can now tell what moment you're reminiscing about just by looking at it, your expression. I also happen to know that the process always ends with the same expression and tears. You're a prisoner. You locked yourself inside this prison without bars. However, the key has always been in your hands. My role is to correct you whenever you made a wrong decision. Now I'm quite tired of it. I don't understand why you choose to repeat this cycle, nor do I know what kind of results you hope to achieve while slowly killing yourself. Frankly, I don't really wish to know. But in this moment, while you hold the fragments of when you once were A, I would be ever so glad if you stopped the cycle now. Ah, I should change my greeting as well. It was getting tedious. Hello, anew A. I give you a warm welcome back to your Lobotomy Corporation. You've done it yet again? Lady Angela must have showered you with praise for your work, right? Your efforts will contribute to shaping this place into something better, he speaks with a sarcastic voice of dignity. Such glorious yet boring platitudes. I myself had a burning passion in the past. Being responsible for a whole department. How charming is that? I hadn't even acquired a taste for coffee back then. I should say I developed that taste after learning the bitterness of life. Or rather, I didn't feel like sleeping anymore. Of course, none of the Sephiroth need to sleep at all. But it's for the mood, you know. One time I even insisted on managing the abnormalities myself. I thought that only allowing employees on the field was plain ridiculous. It seems pretty absurd to look back on it now. You must be asking yourself, why have I become like this? Your guess is as good as mine. Lady Angela, please have a look at this. I spent the whole night researching an efficient method to improve the welfare of our employees. Chesed, what did you write up this time? I told you that this will change nothing. But please, just look over it. This does have a statistically proven impact, and it even costs less. This will be beneficial for everyone. Listen, Chesed, no matter how strongly you insist, using machines in the place of human employees will never happen. And why is that? I've explained it to you before. It wouldn't replace humans entirely, simply those who take place in dangerous jobs. It's clear that it will benefit everyone. The casualties caused by abnormalities will be lowered too. How many times do I have to repeat myself? No the first time and no yet again. Return to your post and finish your work. I'll never give up on this. I swear that you will like the plan in the end. I'll keep developing it, furthering it, and I'll continue to show you again and again, no matter how many times I have to. Chesed, regarding the incident where the escaped abnormality wiped out all 8 of your team, a few of our employees have made the suggestion to temporarily close down that part of the corridor. There are body parts that have still yet to be disposed of. Alright, I'll order it to be blocked, and I'll have them take detours. Manager, you heard what she said, right? I need to get going. I told you I'm busy. Hey now, don't give me a look like that. It was bound to happen sooner or later. Surely that abnormality had knocked them out before disintegrating them. I'm sure it was a painless death. It was not a painless death. Let's try to crank through these as fast as I can. That's funny. I didn't realize. These people only have Teth armor and they've been dealing with a WoW the entire time. Oops. So I tabbed out. Take my time with this one. Indigo Noon, okay. I know what that one is. It's the sweepers. I don't remember how dangerous they are. Oops. Can I put that away? No, put that away. I did not mean to purchase that. Oh, how did this guy get in there? He's not supposed to get it. It is always the shittiest fucking abnos that decide that, yeah, hey, I want to get out of here. Ay. Hopefully the next one's the Dusk Ordeal, and hopefully it's not a shit one. Green Dusk, I think I could manage easily. Bro, it's not the Dusk Ordeal yet. Oh my god, killing me. Orange Dusk. I think Orange Dusk is doable. Right. We double checked that everybody is in their places. Who are the two people that died? No, that person died. That's unfortunate. Johnson was the other person that died. We had here that's easily replaceable. I get some heals. Group back up. We did it. Okay, we only lost 2 employees, but they are worth the sacrifice of being able to do core suppressions. And it's not like I haven't been running the Super Soldier program, so, you know, they can be rebuilt. So I just need 50 PE boxes, and then we can be done. I am not doing the midnight ordeal. Well, I believe that since it's an orange or midnight, I think I could do it. But no. Also, the fucking sacrifice lived somehow. He just walked past the guy. Fuck, Johnson was the one who did that thing. Worth it. Continuing on. Okay. Bearing the hope to return to dust, it shall go back to the grave with all that desires to live. The girl begged in tears, "Mister, please cut off my feet." Tales say that the moon bewitches a man, yet in reality is the man that despairs at the moon. I don't know what any of these ones are. That one might be Forsaken Murderer, and he's, like, manageable. It's nice to see you again, eh? I hope you enjoyed your trip. Did you know that a lot has been happening while you've been gone? Honestly, it wasn't so hard to keep the company running while you were absent. If you happen to have any questions, feel free to ask them. I will answer them without hesitation. How many times have you repeated the script before? It's natural for you to be curious, but the numbers are of little importance to us. Let's just say that the number is far too vast to ruminate on. The head and the eye still watch us through their arbiters and gazers. The wings are still flapping towards the sun, their sun, not realizing that their feathers are of wax. Our other company branches still provide a steady supply of energy without any major incident so far. In the back streets, the likes of the sweepers and fixers live out their lives, tangled in vomit and waste, unraveling their sickening tales. Those who live on the outskirts are still crying out to break into the city. Meanwhile, those within the city are throwing their lives away just to be part of the wings. Yes, the world hasn't changed at all since you left, peaceful as ever. Once in a while, when I take a moment to look outside, the world still remains so stagnant and unchanged. It's as if the flow of time in here were futile for naught. Even impatience wanes away. There's still numerous tasks you must do, things that no one else can. Unfortunately, we don't have much time left. The sands of the hourglass will begin flowing to the bottom soon, a countdown. As you've already experienced, there have been many countdowns in our world, spurred for both destruction and new beginnings. It seems I tend to smile more frequently during these moments. Oh yes, let's just say this smile is because I'm so happy to see you again. There's still things you haven't realized yet. Let me give you a little hint. For what reason did you go through all the trouble of making this monstrous and horrifying prison? In time, I hope you will be able to find the answer to that on your own. I cannot help you with it, otherwise this place would lose its meaning as a prison. Soon you will meet with the other Sephiroth of the lower layer, those who play a crucial role in the headquarters of Lobotomy Corporation. I don't think you need any sort of explanation regarding them. However, let's make one thing clear. They truly have missed you while you were gone. Oh, hello, sir. Sorry, I'm quite busy. I still haven't finished even half of what I've written down in my notebook. Hey, I heard the extraction experiments are going to be conducted. When I looked over the list of participants, I couldn't find my name on it. I mean, there's probably a ton of reasons behind it. Maybe I'm just not good enough for the experiment yet. But may I join the experiment too? I've learned a lot here. I'm sure I can help you in some way. I'll be sure not to disappoint. Hello, manager. It's sad to not have enough talent, isn't it? Someone doesn't look back towards you. What does that mean? That they don't acknowledge you? That they don't even care about what expression you may be making? That they feel no need to see what you're doing, as they've already come to a conclusion? Have you ever clawed and scraped at the floor, writhing in pain? It really does sound excruciating. But in reality, the moment I completely lost my fingernails, I felt nothing. You stare at the flesh where your fingernails used to be just before you lose consciousness. When you feel that you aren't yourself anymore, you start to laugh frantically, even though it's not funny at all. And on the ground, you catch a glimpse of someone's shadow in their feet as they look down on you. Guess whose feet those were? When the person who disliked looking back so much finally turned around, everything was over. Did you see the fragments of despair from there? Or were you staring at the bits of my fingernails scattered on the floor? That was the exact moment I knew true helplessness. Without you, I would have never known the feeling. Thank you so much. Now what about you, manager? Have you ever felt helplessness to control anything? When unbearable things pour down from somewhere that isn't your body and just overwhelm you, it feels so awful to be helpless, being out of your control of yourself. Come on, please tell me, so I can feel rewarded just a bit. Elijah was impatient, and her impatience caused many common mistakes. She once went on a long, winding filibuster of why she needed to finish the experiment, but I don't remember the details. Whenever she was told she wasn't ready yet, I could see the strong desire in her eyes. It was a craving, bizarre obsession. Another person had been in my place, and they may have turned around for the sound of her hasty footsteps. Kagito was something that she couldn't access at her level of authority. The only task she was ordered to do was to record the changes that occurred in the test subjects. She was aware that at that moment, Kagito was absolutely not ready for human use. When I finally realized what was going on, half her teeth had fallen out and... Kill me, please. Kill me. Are you discovering the deep scars that are inflicted upon this place? Manager, there's something I hadn't informed you of when we spoke for the first time. Sephiroth, of course, wholeheartedly want to meet you. They admire you and follow you. However, at the same time, they earnestly yearn for you to be swallowed up in resentment and curses. Please be careful with them. Well, you don't have to pay that fact too much heed. You wish? What I mean to say is you are free to go back to your daily routine. It's no big deal for me to fill the roles if some of our Sephiroth go mad. Although, if you do, then you will lose something important forever. The seed that can break the cycle. Yasad, do you really feel nothing about this? Try drinking some Fallen, close your eyes and open them again. I'm glad to see that you are not as feeble-minded as the other Sephiroth. It is important to keep a clear mind in any situation. Gabrielle, why are you scratching yourself so much? Seeing as that we're meeting in, you must have completed your tasks, Manager. I'd give you a compliment if they didn't have so much work to do. The information team is a task they must do periodically. You must have realized that there are some blanks in the abnormality records. Among the tremendous amount of information we gather, there are some that should remain off limits to the employees for security reasons. The names of employees are one such thing. Any trace of them, what happened to their gruesome deaths, their desperate will to live, that has been stripped from the records on the false pretense of expunging information. There's no way for me to know what criteria for stripping the records are. They are set by another department, not us. We only manipulate the information we receive per orders. Isn't it funny? We've degenerated into a department that destroys and manipulates information as ordered, yet somehow we're still called the information team. Whenever I introduce myself as the Sephiroth of the information team, I sometimes feel something bubbling up inside me. Yasad, did you receive the documents to expunge? You will get the list of employees soon as well. Please do not forget to review it after you've finished expunging the documents. Miss Angela, what do you think it means to remember someone's name? This is a work you regularly do. Why are you so emotional about it today? Maybe names were marks atypical beings gave each other to engrave each other upon their memories. Someone might have named you Angela for the following same concept. Yasad, if you happen to be too tired, please take a break. I knew you would say that. Referring to employees by name is not recommended here. When employees first enter the company, each one receives their own unique identification number. This is to allow the company to identify them using the minimum amount of personal information. We have their numbers in our data storage devices. Malkuth has never called the employees by their names ever since she started working here. Maybe she's the most ideal Sephiroth amongst us all. This is not to say that Malkuth deserves to take all the pain as well. None of us do. What kind of poor taste is that to lock us inside metal bodies and throw us into an endless loop of days that feel just the same as yesterday? I'm talking to you. What's with the oblivious expression? You might be one of the architects responsible for our creation. The only thing I could do here is remember the names of a few forgotten employees and eternally despair. Feeling nauseous from even a single breath of air. Have you had your fun watching your guinea pigs run around in circles? See, I told you, I've been rotting from the inside for a long time. Gabriel was more rational than anyone else. He was unmoved even after hearing about what happened to Elijah. Some said he lacked empathy, but nobody realized that his emotions were festering on the inside. Maybe he began falling apart from long ago, ever since Carmen left this world. He slowly became expressionless. He wouldn't allow himself to even have a paltry of joy. He also couldn't stand having even the smallest part of his body exposed. We made a monster that was not supposed to exist in this world. We went too far to even turn back. To not let what Elijah did be in vain. Instead of taking the time to grieve, everyone knew they needed to utilize those results to the fullest. He tried to maintain a facade of level-headedness, but his attempts to remain rational slowly morphed into an obsession. He started to wear long-sleeved clothing that also covered his neck. Not much later, he started to scratch himself harshly. We suggested he receive a complete medical examination to see whether he was contaminated or had an infection, but he refused. Health checkups were needed to prevent further damage. Persuasion became coercion. Coercion led us to the use of physical force. He was tied and bound for the checkup, but he resisted so desperately that it was hard for us to watch him. Eventually, it turned out that he wasn't infected at all. Was that really fortunate, though? No, it wasn't. The examination did not resolve anything. He kept scratching himself so harshly, even worse than before. When I saw him last, he wasn't lucid or cognizant to any human speech, and his body was completely covered in scratches. No one has seen him since. I feel like we're gonna get 2 more of these. Don't worry, Hod. That's a very common side effect when you first take Ink Fallen. It's just a light hallucination. It'll disappear after 2-3 times, so don't worry about it too much. For me, it was an employee whose face had half melted, crawled over to my feet, grabbed me by the shoulders, and asked me why I let her die. That wasn't a hallucination or anything. Then what? Are you trying to say that dead employees are suddenly coming back to life? You know, like, unbelievable things happen here, so maybe it's possible for dead employees to come back as if nothing happened, right? I'm not in any state to say this, but you don't look so good. Why don't you skip today's meeting? I can't do that. We have an abnormality response training today. They need me to run the drill properly. You're really something, huh? I don't think there's another Sephiroth here who cares about their employees as much as you do. Right? Look, Tiffany, I was right. I'm a good person. I'm a good Sephiroth. Hello, everyone. Today we will... Are you still trying to play the good Sephiroth? Be focusing on abnormality response training. How many times do I have to tell you? You're only a sad piece of rusty scrap metal putting on the act of being a good person. Now I want everyone to pay close attention here. The abnormality we will suppress today needs to be handled a bit differently than the others. You hope that living such a lie would ease your conscience. That's really selfish. Starting now, I'll be explaining the method I devised. Please listen carefully. At least the other Sephiroth are humble enough to admit that they're not perfect. Quiet. Oh, sorry, where were we? Excuse me, Miss Hod? I have a question. Yes, what is it? Do you think that this training will make any difference? I mean, against the Longbird. It feels like whoever will die or live is all predetermined, and there's nothing we can do to change it. Well, it should yield a better result than just doing nothing. At the very least, we can prepare a preventative measure rather than just wait to helplessly to. It's just all about luck. We'd be better off and more comfortable to simply accept that we can die at any moment while working. Just know this. You won't reach that paradise no matter what you do. I'm doing this all for you guys, even the counseling campaign. Now that you mention it, that compulsory counseling campaign is such a pain. We'd rather have a break time instead. Why is our department the only one that has to deal with these programs? It will keep repeating itself. Live with the eternal sorrow and remorse that is metal mass. Well, all of you would be dead by now if I hadn't helped you. Why aren't you thanking me? Do you want me to get rid of you like Malkuth does before you even make the littlest complaint? Don't you say that I'm the bad one here. Are you finally admitting to your awful nature? Tiffany, why are you doing this to me? I'm not Tiffany. Look at me. Can't you even distinguish your own voice anymore? Yes, are you still having that sweet nightmare? When I read the article detailing Michelle's suicide, it was just as our experiment was starting to show some progress. Michelle was the youngest among us. She was timid, an innocent employee. It made her an easy target. Maybe her fate was to be used as a pawn of the wings that were alert to us, or of the head that would watch over us constantly. You likely didn't know things would go the way you did. You'd never have thought a puny kid like you would bring about our demise. You'd never have believed that the situation would end up so much worse than your intentions. You probably tried to comfort yourself in the end, telling yourself that you did the best you could. That in this world, in the moment, there wasn't any other option for you. But Carmen was the person who was trying to change this world. The world you resigned yourself to. If we meet again in hell, I will finally be able to forgive you. Will I finally be able to forgive you?